And hello everybody and welcome back to our Minecraft Let's Play series, week 61. How are y'all doing? I hope y'all are doing very well. So yeah, week 61, and as you already know, we've got some things planned out from last week. One of those things immediately being that, as you probably saw at the beginning of this episode, I went ahead and worked towards getting the items we need for our crystal that I want to put in the mining hole. But we've got some other things I want to talk about. First things first, obviously, we've got the task of moving villagers into the villager hall. That hopefully shouldn't take too long, but we shall see. Then, of course, the mining hole. We've got some other touches with it, possibly, as well as the crystal, so we'll see about that too. Then, number 3 on here, you might notice that I've got base improvements for a secret door and some lighting. Now, this one usually is on here and I don't do it, but I do actually have a plan for this one this time, so we'll get to that this week. And then secret door I'll talk about when we actually need it. Then finally we have on here a spawn portal. I'm getting tired of having to run back to our base every time I die, so that's why that's on here. And then question mark is usually my filler for if I want to end up doing something else this week, and then I just don't write it down. So with all that said, the first thing we're actually going to do is go ahead and put our spawn portal at spawn. I'm getting very tired of having to run back. We've died twice in the past 2 weeks, and I need a better way of getting back to our base. So I'm going to go ahead and finally put another portal on the roof for our spawn, as well as put one in the spawn area, and that will hopefully make it a little bit easier to make the walk of shame back to our base every time I do die. Because actually, how many times have I died in this world now? 8. We are on 8 deaths, which is somehow still not 10%. It is 10%, sorry. It is. So we have died more than 10% per week, if that makes sense, because it would be 100% would be 61. Yeah, so 10% would be about 6.1. Fun. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put the portal at our spawn. Shouldn't take too long. Let's go. So for those who don't know, our spawn is actually right here. These are the 0 by 0 coordinates, basically, for the world. And I, for the time being, don't think we really need much of anything too fancy. Just a simple portal here will work. I might go ahead and make like a gigantic portal somewhere around here in the future. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and place a obsidian for a portal. And now I got to fly back to our base and, well, go ahead and place one on the nether roof. Alright, and now we gotta go to 0, 0. Something like this, and this should link up. Yep, cool. Now we have a way of getting to and from our spawn without having to run a long distance if I die. And seeing as we're in here already, we might as well go ahead and talk about our villagers. So yeah, as per usual, I have 8 villagers here, but you might remember that we've actually finished up on our librarians for the villager hall. And, well, that is true. We obviously still have a bunch of other jobs, but I was trying to figure out what jobs I would want to actually fill next. And I have made a decision on that. However, I think it'd be best if I talk about my explanation when we get there. So let me move all these guys over and I'll meet you over there. Alright, and so now that we're here, let's talk about what jobs I'm going to give those 8 villagers there over behind the beacon. So there is a little bit of an issue with actually giving these guys jobs, and it's because I've been talking about not wanting to give them repeats, and you might be wondering what I mean by repeats. Well, my best example for this that can be shown at least is the cartographers. You might remember all these cartographers from when I was trying to find the tricky trials or the trial runes. And all these guys, their main trade that I was talking about that makes them unique are these banners. And you can tell that they have 2 of the 16 colors of banners. Same with this guy and all the way down the line, right? But the thing is, because of the limited number of spaces I have, I think I have here possibly 16 exactly. So that means that there is only enough space for 2 of each banner. And so if I get 3 of a banner, then I don't want that villager. And a lot of these kind of run in with that same issue because the Masons have the 16 terracotta colors, the Shepherds have the 16 wool colors, and the Fletchers have different types of tipped arrows. Not to mention that the Fishermen, this one's a little bit more strange, but I'm trying to get these guys to have different types of boats. It's kind of similar to how I had the farmers earlier, where I was trying to get their trades to be different types of crops and have it be somewhat equal. But the issue with all of the ones that I have listed earlier is that their trades are at the end of their sequence and not in the beginning. So with that being said, what we're going to do is we are going to take these 8 villagers and not do any of the jobs I have just discussed. Instead, the ones that we are going to do, because they do not have one of those determinate trades at the end of their line, is going to be the armor, the weaponsmith, and these 6 butchers, because the butchers actually only have 3 different trades at the beginning of their sequence, and that's what I'm mainly worried about. So, without further ado, we're going to start trying to move these guys over to that section. Alright, we're going to try the first one to be the weaponsmith. And this guy is actually great because I don't even have to trade with him to know what his trades are going to be, because he always has the same trades no matter what you do to him. He'll always have the exact same trades. Maybe not the same order, but all of them will be the same. Now let's do the armor. Now, the thing about the armor is this is actually not the same story to an extent. Basically, all of his trades up until his expert and master trades are random because you can get a full set of iron or a full set of chainmail. But we're mainly looking for this coal trade here, so we actually have the villager we want right here. And then later down the line, his trades will be exactly how they want because they're always the same. It's always a full set of diamond armor. And now it's time to move in all of those butchers. And alright, there we go. There are our 6 butchers, which I actually haven't looked at the trades yet, besides these 2, and these 2, I might re-roll one of them because they have literally the exact same trade. Oh, we can also get rabbit stew from these guys too. Honestly, the only one I might just... Do I even want to re-roll these? These trades actually aren't that bad, but if we want to have a consistent number, I'm assuming there's 4 trades at the beginning, and we've got these 6, plus there's 5 more down here, for a total of 22, meaning that 2 will get the shaft, which would technically be probably the rabbit stew as well as the actual rabbit, meaning that there won't be 6 rabbits, but there can't be 6 here at least. So yeah, I think these trades are actually fine where they are at the moment. But yeah, now that we've moved in those 8 villagers, that's all I actually wanted to do this time for villager haul, except maybe I'll do some trading later on this week. I'm not too sure, but for right now, what I want to do is go ahead and head back to our base to start up something new, whether it be going to our mining hole or doing some things around our base. I haven't decided yet, and I will when I get there. So yeah, I'll see you guys over there. And now that we're back, I have decided that the first thing I want to do is actually work on stuff around our base. Namely, there's actually 2 things that I've thought about, and both of them are in our book with lighting and secret door. Well, you might be wondering what the secret door is I'm talking about, and it's actually quite simple. Basically, when it comes to our furnace area, right, I've been needing sometimes to go behind the area to do some changes in case it breaks. And I'm getting tired of just having to break this and then jump back through it and then replace it. So what we're going to be doing instead is about here, we are going to be introducing a piston door. This is going to help because then I won't have to constantly break this, but it's going to be a fairly simple design. It's not going to be anything too extravagant, hopefully, but it does require some redstone components. So let me go grab those. All right, so what we need is 2 pistons right here, stone block, and there's got to be a comparator going into that stone block. This comparator is going to be powered using a copper bulb. We also need a comparator going into here. We need a lectern with a book and quill that gets set to 10. Item frame goes out here. Our calibrated sensor, and I think that might be it actually. Go ahead and cover this up again. I'm out of stone. And now when we go ahead and put a piece of stone in here, that one only activates. I've realized my mistake. This needs redstone. Now this should work. Yep. So anytime we flip this item frame, it will go ahead and toggle the door. This way I can easily flip that, go into here, do whatever fix I need to do, because last time I actually had to fix this because this broke, which it seems to be broke again. I might need to fix this in the future. I don't know why it breaks, but it's not good that it does, but we'll figure something out. Yeah, and then just flip this back and it's closed. All right, cool. That's number 1 done. Number 2 is our lighting situation. Now, I have expressed multiple times that I hate how these lanterns look around here, and I still stand by that. So what we're going to do today is we're going to try and get an actual lamp position set up. Now, don't worry, I do actually have a design this time though, and we'll see how it looks to everybody else. So give me a moment, I'm going to gather the materials. And alright, with all those materials gathered, we're going to go ahead and tear these up before it turns into daytime so we can actually see how these look. And we'll keep them at the same spot that these ones were at, just to see if I need to move them. So we leave the base block, go 3 up with some stone, ochre froglight, the copper trapdoors, obviously waxed, and one more thing I forgot, which is the spruce trapdoor. So yeah, that's the design for the lantern. Pretty sure that this is already an issue, yeah, because something could spawn here. So maybe this will have to be moved, but I like how it looks more than how that looks. So I'm going to go walk through here. I'm also going to take these out for the time being, and we'll see how this looks with just the lamppost when it hits night. I'll be back. Alright, so I went ahead and also took out some of the other light sources, namely the frog lights that were around here, as well as the torches. And while I do like the lantern or the lamp designs, they do raise a blaring issue I've noticed immediately, because where these are currently situated, areas like this are completely in the dark. Like you can tell that it says client light is at 1 for block, and we don't want that because that means monsters could spawn. So the natural idea, right, is maybe move this over to here and then place another one somewhere along here, but I also want to have a building here, so that's a small issue. And then this one over here, you can't have like multiple here just to light up that area. So do I go ahead and just put the frog light here again? I'm not too sure. All right, this lighting is getting a lot worse than I thought it was. So I also went ahead and took out some of the torches here. I'm like 90% sure that most of this area is covered. Yeah, there's a few places where it dips down into dangerous territory, but I don't. Okay, this area, something can spawn here. But I did place a lantern here, so it takes out most of the spot. But yeah, so at some point, what I need to figure out is a good balance between the ones that have frog lights in them, like hidden away in the ground, and then the actual lanterns that are not just for light but also for a decorative piece. For now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just have torches placed throughout here to keep the light levels up enough so that there's nothing spawning, and then later down the line, because the thing is I still want to have some buildings here, like one right here, and then I'm not too sure if I actually want to have anything else down here, so that might be a good place to start with actual figuring out like lighting ideas, especially in this path where we can't really put any of the lanterns on. But yeah, once we get those buildings in, there will be more light because I add lights to them. But for now, we're just gonna have to worry about that at another point. But at least we finally have a design that I'm happy with when it comes to these lights, instead of being like, oh, I'll get to it another week, oh, I'll get to it another week. They're finally here, and I think these designs are here to stay. Unless you guys have something to say about them, and you can honestly tell me that, but hopefully you don't. And for the last thing I'd like to do for this week is the thing that I had teased last week at the end of it, and that is I have gathered all the materials that we are going to need for our giant crystal in the middle of the mining village. So I'm going to take all these. I technically still need to figure out where I want to place this exactly in the village. I'm going to be bringing dirt with me to make this slightly easier, and let's go and get to building. So obviously when it's going to come to building this, it's not going to be horrible, it's just going to be very time consuming, because what I need to do, where I want to place the crystal is I want to have half of it be above that deep slate line and half of it be below the deep slate line. Basically half in the stone area, half in the deep slate area. So first things first, I need to figure out where I need to be for this to be centered, which is a lot easier than I think it is because I just need to use chuck borders because I made the way I made this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tower up to basically where the line is, at least where the line somewhat is here. And then we're going to dig down, I'd say probably about 20 blocks. It's about here. So we'll go until we have 18, or we have 20 dirt blocks. And this is how far down the crystal's going to be. I'm going to hope this looks good at the end, but I'm not too sure at the moment. You know, it's already starting to be realized how long this is going to take. I know I made this like somewhat big, but I didn't really think of the repercussions of that. I'm now realizing that half of this is not going to be in the stone, but like it's going to be more into the deep slate area, and I don't think I actually care. I think they'll look fine either way is a better way of putting that. I do care, it's just, it'll look fine where it is now. You know, I'm also going through and building this while thinking, did I actually do the math correctly on these? And I'm really hoping I did. Because if I didn't, then depending on what item I'm missing the most of, it will either be easy to fix or it will be a very big pain in the butt to fix. Alright, and now that we've got the outer shell of this thing made, it is now time to work on the inner workings of this. Shouldn't be too bad, but knowing my luck, it will be horrible. I'm surprised I made that. And you know, since we're here, we might want to actually go ahead and work on the obsidian sphere that's in here. Just an idea. I am out of obsidian somehow. I thought I grabbed enough, and I did not. Alright, that's fine. At least it's obsidian and not something that I don't have, like, hundreds and thousands of. And now we're almost done. Time to get this whole thing finished. I don't know why I have 6 extra prismarine bricks and a buttload of glass, because I'm like 90% sure this was all I needed. And it's symmetrical, so I didn't mess up there. I don't know where the extra glass came from. I know where the extra light is from, but I don't know where everything else came from. Whatever, I'll find out later. I'll find out later, probably be upset, and then we'll have to come back and tear it down. But for right now, let me go ahead and get rid of the dirt pillar at the bottom. Well, there it is. There is our crystal, and I'm actually quite glad of where it ended up because I don't think this will run into any issues with any of the grass areas that I'm going to be placing throughout here. Especially when I get to like building bridges between these guys, it won't actually cause a problem whenever I decide to do that. I am, however, very concerned as to why I ended up with 6 prismarine bricks and then a decent amount of glass left over. I definitely don't have glass going in the center of these areas, so that's not the problem. Oh wait, there was supposed to be glass on the edges too. That's where I'm missing it. Give me a second. There we go. Now the glass total actually makes a decent bit of sense. However, I'm going to just chalk the amount of prismarine that I have left over up to a crafting error probably. Yeah, there we go. There is the crystal in its full glory. So some things about this. We're not going to have it just floating here. I'm going to probably try and figure out a way to actually attach it to things. I was thinking attach it to there, but those are really far from that now, so we'll see about that. We might end up going ahead and attaching it to the walls or something, or have it somehow like magically supported up from the bottom, but that actually creates a very cool pattern down on the floor when it comes to the lighting. But sadly, that is going to be it for this week. I know, not too terribly exciting, but we did get a decent bit of stuff done. We went ahead, moved some more villagers into a villager hall as per usual. Then we went ahead and created a portal at our spawn, which with how much I've been dying recently is going to be very necessary. And then we went ahead to our base. We added a door to get to the back end of our smelting system, as well as finally figured out a little bit of the lighting situation that I wanted to work on so long ago. And then, of course, finally implementing this giant crystal into our mining village, or our soon to be mining village. Quotes around soon. This project's gonna probably take the entire year, or maybe more, who knows. But with that dread out of the way, I thank you all for watching this week. I hope you all enjoyed. You all take care. Have a great week, and I will hopefully see you guys in the next one. Alright, bye bye.